Val Shute from River Architects. We chose Val way over a year ago, maybe almost 2 years ago now, and he's been very patient with the speed of our project. And we've had some good mind sessions. We seem to mesh really well with ideas, and he understands small libraries, and he's very creative.
Well, this was a, I don't know how far you want to go into this from the council side, just because, how far should I go? Just an overview? Just an overview. The project is interesting for a number of reasons. One, the most interesting parts is the collaboration between the city and the library. A lot of times our projects are one or the other. This is a combination. And one of the biggest opportunities here is for shared spaces in both facilities. Many times our library projects have a community element that's used for programming in the library, and that facility is never challenged as a need in the community, but because of its location, sometimes doesn't get maximum utilization. In this case, the idea was to make it for community use for library purposes and or for the council side of this for events like this. And we tried to set it up that way. So that was one of the opportunities. One of the challenges was trying to fit it on the site. This is an urban site in the context of a rural community, and in this case, we couldn't just lay it all out on one floor. Library construction is kind of interesting in that you have to have 150 pounds per square foot load. Just to give you an idea, a parking garage is 60. So it's almost it's 2.5 times that amount. So it definitely has some issues. What we've done on this project is made that so that's why the library ended up on the first floor with the way it's set up. The drawings, I think, have been circulated. We did bring them, and we'll have them displayed, and I won't be able from where everybody is sitting to see this, but literally we actually have a lobby space that's open to everybody, and it has restrooms in it, and off of that on the first floor is the library component. And in this case, the library could be closed, the rest of the facility could still be open. When you're upstairs, on the upper level and access to the upper level, this is a barrier-free environment, and so there's elevators as well as stairs. Upstairs, when you come up this central lobby, which is open all the time, there's a City Hall multi-purpose council chamber, and then the City Hall part of the building. And there is expansion capabilities built into it, and the idea of this entire concept is that one of the things that we see in a lot of our library projects is we cannot figure out how to deal with the changing technology. So what we've tried to do is make that facility as flexible as possible so that it can accommodate changes that are unforeseen. And that's what's going on here. The library is wide open. There's a few columns in it, but other than that, it's wide open and can be distributed. The uses can be distributed in the space. This is a conceptual elevation of the building. It's actually, I would call this transitional maybe. It's not meant to be contemporary. It's not meant to be old. It's using older materials, things like punched window openings, which is an older element in architecture, and then curtain walls sometimes in spaces where are open to the public to draw attention to the entrance. But the material palette is made to sort of blend in and combine old and new. Inside would be definitely serving high-tech needs, not only for the library but also for the City Hall people, and it's set up that way. It is a flat roof building. When I say flat, it's still pitched to drains. It's not dead level flat. One of the things that we have as a challenge, and your community has a fair number of pitched roofs, is when we're on the zero lot line for property, trying to get that snow off the roof is a very challenging thing. So what we've done is we've kept the snow on the roof, let it drain to interior drains. There's scuppers this is not dead level flat, but it's not a pitched roof as this building has right now. Again, when we're on a zero lot line in an urban setting, that is a challenging proposition to try and maintain that ice damage and icicles and that sort of thing. With that, the space was initially done to be as flexible and adaptable to uses for both functions, with the idea the library could grow into that other space. It is barrier-free accessible, and again, one of the toughest issues was trying to make it so that the lobby was always open, and the city hall or the library, one or the other or both, could be open or closed and still make the facility accessible. One of the sort of personality quirks of the library, and I say that in a sense of Barnes and Noble and Borders, it is as you go into those stores, libraries have turned into be community centers rather than repositories for books. There's a lot of public seating space, and in this particular case, we've actually, at the community's urging, put in a coffee type shop where it's a little opportunity for exchange. That is actually part of the library but is zoned off, so that could even be open when the library's not, to sort of get the best of all worlds here, depending on how that is set up. Again, flexibility was sort of the hallmark of this, but not done flexibility just for the point of compromising the functions of City Hall and the library. It's always been set up so that there's a win-win, not somebody win or losing. Is that enough? I'll be available for questions later. Okay. Well, one thing I didn't say is I didn't give you an idea of the square footage. The library is, I'm going to round these off, it's 8,500 square feet. It's actually 8,445. City Hall is 3,100, and the shared space is 5,300. Okay, that just gives you a little bit of an idea of how the space is set up. When I refer to shared spaces, that is stairways as well as lobbies, as well as the council, the multi-purpose spaces at both are using, and all the restroom facilities, because there's restrooms on both floors that are all barrier-free accessible. Okay, thanks.
Mayor, if I could just ask Jennifer, was the fact that the city and the library collaborated on this venue, is that important?
It is somewhat important for rural development. We do look at multi-purpose buildings as an asset to the community, and it does have we do look at that. It is favorable. It doesn't necessarily give you more priority points or anything, but it is something that definitely we have a consideration for.
Then I think we'll move on.